Hmm. I guess we're live, yeah. At least I'm seeing it on YouTube. Yeah, it's chatting with Reza Sedghi.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Just let me know
So,
if we are live in the comments, if anyone is watching. Yeah, I can see that we are live on YouTube
yeah.
and also on Instagram. Hello, everyone. So, tonight I'm live. I have the honor to host the amazing Reza Sedghi. He's a
Thank
great
you.
sculptor that he does both traditional and digital sculpting and yeah, like hello, you can say hi to people and feel comfortable to share your experience. Like, how did you start? When did you start? Your background, and feel free.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Reza Sedghi, digital sculptor and 3D artist. First of all, I would like to apologize any mispronunciation of words or wrong usage of words. As you may know, English is not my first language, so bear with me as I struggle to find the perfect or right word to just
It's
use it in my
fine.
sentence. So
I
sorry
do the
beforehand.
same. I do the same actually. It's
Okay.
fine. As we were talking about it before, like I speak like almost five languages, so it's normal for us that we, kind of speak
Yeah,
multiple languages. We always, our brain get blocked in some certain time, and sometimes we look for the right words and stuff like that. So it's fine.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
so
It's not
um
pain. I hope it's not painful for the others.
I think people understand because I also see that, like, many of my followers, both on Instagram and YouTube, they're from like different countries, and they also have, this problem of speaking multiple languages. At least the ones that I talk to, some of them have the same problem because, like,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's fine. So,
Yep.
I already can see Alvin on YouTube saying hello, hello. I don't know how many people are watching on YouTube. I think four people already are watching. Okay, so I think we can start with um, the
Sure.
first thing is to know about your background. When did you start, and tell us about your history of starting with ZBrush and 3D in general.
Mhm. Uh, well, professionally, I started in I guess 2012.
Mm-hmm.
I started as a 3D asset artist in a video game company. But my first encounter with the whole 3D world, it's actually kind of a funny story. Um, I was 7 years old, and my father bought us a PC, a computer, and unlike other people who may, I don't know, buy video game or an animation or movie or whatever, he bought a 3D Studio Max. I guess
Mm-hmm.
it was version 4, and he told me to create a 5-minute animation by next week. And it
That's
was my
interesting.
first time
And how
having
old
a
were you?
computer. 7 years old.
Oh my God.
And
Very interesting.
not only I
Okay.
was 7 years old, it was my first time experiencing having a computer.
Wow.
So yeah. So of course I didn't create any 5 minutes animation, but at that time I encountered two things. One was 3D Studio Max, and second was, which is more important, was deadline.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that I have to create something in a short period of time, which helped me many, many years later.
Right.
And, but yeah, but those times were just, I was just playing around with the whole software. I don't know, 3D modeling a little bit here. I don't know, simulation there,
Mm.
creating environment modeling, rendering, or whatever. But it wasn't really serious.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to the Game Institute in Tehran.
Mm-hmm.
The art department was running by Amir Hossein Erfani,
Mm-hmm.
who I learned a lot from him, and uh, and also Cyrus Pourlatifi, who is an amazing 3D artist.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I joined the video game industry for a few years, and then moving back and forth with the video games and then animation. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because 3D artist, as you know, the whole pipeline is like generally it's just the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's just different in the details or some parts.
Okay, sorry.
So
I think I didn't
yeah,
understand. When you were 7 years old, did you actually do
yeah.
something with 3D, or it was just like playing around and like did
It
you
was mostly
actually
playing around.
okay.
I can call it making something, but
Okay.
it's
But
just
this is really interesting.
playing
And
around.
how old are you, if I may ask?
Yeah. How old?
Yeah. If I may ask, how old
7.
are you? No, now.
Now
I'm
I'm
just
37. Yeah, I'm 7 years old at this moment.
no, because
Yeah.
I want to understand how many years ago this was that your father thought that you can like make a like animation with a computer at
Um,
7 years old.
yeah. I'm
It's just for
31
yeah,
and
okay.
yeah,
It's just for my
uh,
own
almost
curiosity
getting
too.
32.
Okay, so it was like yeah,
Yeah.
not long time ago actually.
Yeah.
All right. So and then when you actually started to work in video games, it was 2012. You said
2012. Yeah.
okay. And do you have any like academic study in like art field or in 3D field?
No, because at least at that time, I don't know about now, but the academy at that time wasn't really because the whole 3D world
Mm-hmm.
is just really high end, and you
Mm-hmm.
have to be updated every day.
Right.
And for example, at this moment, you cannot use for example, a specular map. Those who work in the games industry may know this. You cannot work with the very old
Mm,
pipeline to create a character with a specular map and a
exactly.
diffuse map and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So you always have to be updated. And the academy at that time wasn't really updated. So, I remember some people were just drawing with mouse.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, this is not going to work for me. So,
Okay.
and I'm saying it, I don't know about now. Maybe they are great at this
Right.
time. I have no clue.
Well, actually,
I hope
anyone,
they are.
yeah, anyone that I talked to so far, even among my friends, not I mean the ones that I interviewed on my live sessions, people are saying that having a background like academic background
Mhm.
doesn't help anything. At the end of the day,
Right. Yeah.
you need to do the work by yourself, practice and do the work by yourself because university
Exactly.
is not
Exactly.
gonna give you everything. It might help. It might be like how do you say it like a force to
Hmm.
actually be present to update yourself and do the work, but it's not gonna be 100% everything.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, of course, because the degree or some certificates or whatever doesn't really help you to find a job.
Mm,
Uh, you have to actually learn how to create a character or a
mm-hmm,
prop or I don't know, environment or whatever you're doing.
mm-hmm.
So most of the 3D artists are basically self-taught,
Right.
because there are lots of tutorials out there.
Mm.
You can just learn whatever and then just
So
apply
you
for some
you did the
positions.
same. You learned by yourself, or you had a
Yeah.
coach, or
Uh,
just
yeah,
following
yeah. As I
online
mentioned, I went to
resources?
no, no.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned, I went to the Game Institute
Mm-hmm.
for I guess a year,
Mm-hmm.
and and then I moved straight to the industry, and then slowly learning, watching tutorials, studying, all
So
that.
only like tutorials, no courses, no workshops.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, as I mentioned, yeah, the only course was the first time with
Mm,
Amateur Saint Irfani
mm,
and Sirius
right.
Boulefkin. That's it.
Okay. Awesome. And if you have any suggestions to suggest to the people who are like starting with the business, not the business, let's say learning 3D or like trying to get into the industry, either game or like VFX or like collectibles, for learning, what would you suggest? If there is like a specific tutorial that you would recommend, or I don't know, a book maybe.
Um, well, there are many tutorials out there.
Hmm.
Um, Scott Eaton's
Yeah, that's my favorite.
tutorials are
Yeah.
just amazing for
Mm-hmm.
learning anatomy.
Yeah.
Um, Gio Knockpill's tutorials are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Lord, who I
Mm-hmm.
admire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these guys are amazing. And
Right.
one thing I guess I can say is that don't get yourself lost in the tutorials, because I see a lot of artists or emerging artists or
Mm-hmm.
junior artists, whatever. Uh, they get so lost in the tutorials, like they just say that, okay, I have this amount of gigabytes of tutorials, and I'll be like, okay, this is not going to help you. The
Right.
file size or the amount of the tutorials is not going to help you. Stick with one tutorial and just get the result,
Mm.
and then slowly learn, and more,
Mm.
more, more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Actually, for me, what worked best was practicing, because watching is
Yeah, of
one
course.
part of it and then practicing is another part, and then also having my friends like correcting me, the ones who were obviously like a teacher to me, like better than me. They were like helping me online on Discord, and for me that was like correction. Like I was watching Scott Eaton learning, and then going on Discord, like asking for feedback from my friends, and they were like, yeah, you should like I think the arm has to be like this muscle is wrong, this
Mhm.
is that. And then I was practicing more, and I didn't get disappointed with like mistakes that I made, because well, like that's how it
Mhm.
should be for the beginning.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, practicing. Just because it's a long journey, you just can't get the results so fast with one tutorial,
Mm,
I don't know, one course or whatever.
exactly.
And it's also hard because I see it, and I also can remember in myself as well, because in the early stages you will sculpt, and the sculpt is definitely very bad.
Mm,
It's looking awful. The anatomy is bad. The I
yeah.
don't know, the fabrics are the worst fabric ever. The texturing is just awful. It's like a dead person, like
Mm-hmm.
pale. And slowly you'll start to understand by practicing and practicing and practice. So yeah.
Right. By the way, Sarah says hi. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
um I actually asked this question from everyone. I want to know, what are you thinking about AI coming? Because this is like scaring many of us. And I know that it's hard because we don't know what's going to happen in 5 years, but those who are like young, I have people like 18 years old, 17 years old, even 15 years old texting me on Instagram and asking me, I'm really interested in 3D. I want to start, but I'm scared. What if I start and I lose all the all the try and effort after a few years, that I will be good enough, but also AI will be good enough for creating the same thing. What
Right.
would
Yeah.
you suggest to those youngs, at least? I know that we are all scared about it, but at least to young people who are trying to follow their passion and start with 3D, but they are like scared from the beginning.
Well, um, uh, we all really don't know, but
True. That's the scary part of
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Um, but one thing that I know is which is I guess it's a hard truth, is that the industry defines what it needs. The
Mm-hmm.
market, I'm sorry, the market defines what it
Mm-hmm.
needs. And so, for example, if I get back to my the specular diffuse map type of character pipeline
Mm-hmm.
example, you know, the industry and the market does not want any uh, kind of character with that pipeline. So
Mm-hmm.
that pipeline is gone forever, right?
True.
So if you, for example, if you updated yourself, if you keep up with the new pipelines,
Mm-hmm.
learn the PBRs, or for example, in the 3D printing or whatever you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
if you're updated, you still have your job. But if you're so, for example, if I don't sculpt,
Mm-hmm.
and if I say, okay, I only create characters by poly modeling,
Mm-hmm.
right? I can't say I will never have a job, but I will kind of never have a job anymore.
True.
So, right? So, if the market needs the AI at this moment, because AI is creating arts fast, it's less expensive, it's almost free.
Mm-hmm.
So, these are the things that the market needs, and it's also fast. It's super fast.
Right.
You just create some art like in a split second.
Mm-hmm.
So industry wise, it makes sense, but
Mm.
also lots of artists are they may lost their job. Uh, but I don't see it that it's going to take over the humans
Mm-hmm.
because I don't see art as something that AI can create because it comes from like creativity, and I see creativity that's something that comes from experiencing a lot of things. I
Mm.
don't know. This can be like controversial because some people may believe in the other, like
Yeah, the
they
other way.
otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, so you think that for those who want to start, they just need to start, but always keep themselves updated,
yeah, yeah. Exactly.
just in
Also,
case to
use
not.
AI.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, use it. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not saying that okay, use
Mm-hmm.
AI to create models, to create art or whatever, but use
Absolutely.
it as a tool to help yourself. For
Absolutely.
example, a few years ago, the photogrammetry scans in the
Mm-hmm.
environment modeling
Mm-hmm.
uh, came in the industry, right? And all the environment artists were like, okay, we're going to lose our jobs or
Mm.
whatever. They did not. They're
True.
still working, and these
True.
scans are helping them.
That's right.
So just don't panic, or we're all going to be homeless. That's also
I don't believe
yeah,
we're gonna be homeless because if AI is going to, going to be able to sculpt as good as I am sculpting now, then it will
right.
be also good enough to become a doctor. No? So like I'm not saying that I'm like a doctor, but I'm just giving the example. Like, if AI is like progressing this fast, this means that it's
Hmm.
progressing in every field, not just in my work. So, if this is getting this scary, everyone has to be scared,
Exactly.
not only me. And I think there has to be a way to keep our job, but at the same time use AI. It's like
Yeah, yeah,
as the example that you gave for the scanners, it's still helping us, but it's not getting our job. It's we are not replaced
exactly,
by scanners because we still need humans to to fix the scans, or maybe in the future we will
exactly.
not, but for now at least we are doing it. And we
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
comment. um Waysam AB asking, do you think AI now changed the game a lot, guys? For someone who will start learning now. I think we already covered this question, no?
We
Yeah,
already
covered.
covered.
Okay. And Amir Farahani is asking, maybe the future of our industry is art scenes and small independent. I'm not wearing my glasses. Wait a second. um, and small independent teams creating their own games, movies, and animations, and competing with the bigger companies. What do you think about that?
Mhm.
Nothing?
Maybe, yeah, because yeah, maybe
Mm-hmm.
I really can't have any comments on that because
Mm-hmm.
I'm quite in the merch part of the industry because in the collectibles and the 3D printings,
Mm-hmm.
toys and figures are mostly the merch part of the industry. But I guess um, it's kind of right because the major companies got so big and also they're so repetitive and the lack of creativity you can see in the recent years. Um, so yeah, maybe the future will be in the hands of the independent companies.
Mm-hmm. And Sahar Rahmati is asking, but even with the AI advancements, still it needs a person with sculpting expertise to provide it with proper prompts. So AI won't take
Of
jobs
course,
actually. It takes not amateurs job. That's true. I agree with
of
you,
course. Yes,
Sahar.
yes, yes.
Also
That's
Reza
really true
agrees. Yeah.
because you will need someone with a artistic eye
Mm-hmm.
to create what it needs. For example, the juniors or the mid-level artist
Mm-hmm.
may be gone,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess they would definitely need someone with a perfect
Mm-hmm.
eye to create what it needs or to refine the
Mm-hmm.
AI generated whatever 3D model or concept or whatever.
Amir Farahani just wrote again, AI can take jobs, but will also give people the capability to create their own job. Yeah, probably. Uh, let's stay positive on that because I feel the same actually. I feel like it's gonna be like that.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully,
Arian Moba is asking or wrote something. As long as AI hasn't reached self awareness, I don't think it can be creative enough to take our spots, but we can use it to our advantages. I'm so happy people agree on this. Okay, I agree with you. Great.
yeah.
So, actually, I wanted to ask you to show us some of your amazing works from your portfolio. If you
Thanks.
already prepared something to show us, I'm so excited
Yeah.
because I really love your work, especially the ones in fine art. Like, I'm a fan.
Yeah. So these are my industry works,
Mm-hmm.
which I created when I was in First Four Figures,
Okay.
which I joined, I guess, in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. So at that time, I was a digital sculptor there,
Mm-hmm.
and then at the final years, when did the COVID start?
20,
2020 or 2019?
2019 it started, I think.
2019,
The end of at the end of 2019, I think.
yeah. So yeah, at that time, I was also doing the final checks of the models,
Mm-hmm.
like
So
also
these are all collectibles?
yeah, yeah, they are all
Okay.
collectibles.
Mm-hmm. Like
And
the big size, like statue size, right?
yeah, yeah, the statue size, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Awesome detail.
yeah, yeah, the quality of their prints is so great.
Mm-hmm.
And
Awesome.
it was really fun to work on the
Mm-hmm.
like official license
Mm-hmm.
IPs
Mm-hmm.
to work on, I don't know, characters of the like major video games or
Mm-hmm.
animes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Awesome.
yeah, at the like before the COVID started, there was some protest in Iran, and then they cut off the internet. And
Mm,
as I mentioned, like beside being a digital sculptor there, I was also doing the final checks of all the files.
mm,
And so I used to do that, and then the files would go for uh, either being cut or
mm,
straight for printing.
mm,
And the internet was like cut off for, I guess, a week, and then the company wanted all the files, and I had like
mm.
all of the files with me.
Well, that's traumatizing because I was
So
also having the
yeah,
same problem.
that's really
And
crazy.
yeah, that was actually the last weeks of me being in Iran. And it was really traumatizing because I also had, projects to deliver. And with the internet, it was really crazy. I know. It's really traumatizing.
What was your solution?
Well, nothing. Because I was like,
Well,
I had to send emails, and like the emails that I was sending today was delivered like 2 days after I sent it. And like sometimes I wanted to, upload files, and it wasn't uploading, like it was stuck in the middle.
yeah, yeah,
And it was like endless uploading. And yeah, at the end I moved to Italy after 1 month, I think.
yeah. Well, I took a flight to Istanbul.
Mm-hmm.
I copied all the files,
Mm-hmm.
went to Istanbul, used Turkey as an internet cafe to send my files, and then went back to Iran at that time. And then I was like, okay, this is not going to work really because I'm using
Mm-hmm.
other countries as an internet cafe.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just move out.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah,
Yeah, I'm sorry to
but
hear
then
that.
I used
Yeah.
to work there. Yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
shit happens. Sorry for the strong language, but yeah.
It's fine. I mean, we are
I
all
mean,
pissed
yeah,
about what happened there, so I understand the language.
yeah,
So, 10
yeah.
10
And
Ductman, sorry for interruption, is saying hello. I forgot you were streaming today. Yes, guys, for those who doesn't know, I'm always live on Monday evenings. I don't know what time exactly, but it's usually around like 6 7 p.m. So so keep that in mind. Monday evenings, but not exactly 7 o'clock. It's like it's always like changing. So yeah. Sorry for the interruption, Reza.
no,
Go
no
on.
biggie. So yeah, these are also this is
Mm-hmm.
that I did for a company called Didema.
Mm-hmm.
This is based off a concept by the amazing Hadi Tabassi,
Mm-hmm.
and the character designs were done by Mehdi Ali Beji.
Awesome.
Uh, I just mm, some of the 3D models were done by Ali Bitaraf, and then they asked me to create an animation, like a still type of animation
These are cute.
that looks like clay-ish kind of animation.
Aw.
And yeah, it was a fun experience. Moving back and forth between like industries because I was busy doing
Yeah, I'm
like
actually
super serious
surprised
sculptures.
that you have experience with everything: animation, game, collectibles. Like, oh, hello.
It's
Farhad is
fun.
saying hello to Reza specifically.
Oh, hello,
Hey, I'm
Farhad.
here too. Now I understand because I think you guys are like friends, like bros,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have the honor to have Reza this evening, but I will have you in the
Come join
future
us, man.
weeks. Yeah, because I'm a
Yeah,
fan of
of course.
Farhad too. He has like a very like how do you say it in English? Now my brain got blocked again. Like he has like different styles in his portfolio, and like each style is like perfect for itself, like from stylized to the
Exactly.
realistic one. And it always surprised me, like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I mean, for being in the industry,
Mm-hmm.
you can like have two ways. Some people stick to one style.
Mm-hmm.
For example, it's hyper realistic, stylized, or whatever. Or some artists do like a variation of styles,
Mm-hmm.
stylized, realistic, anime, whatever. And um, both has their pros and cons, I guess.
But I think you also, like, I cannot understand what you prefer, but I think you're more into, like, realistic classical sculpts, as far as I
Yeah,
know,
of course.
because yeah.
For me, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm. So,
Yeah, I prefer
mm-hmm,
classical sculptures, but for the industry, I have to follow whatever the
that's right.
boss tells me.
That's right. So now you're freelancing, right? Or you're working for a specific
Yeah.
company? Freelancing?
No, I do no, I do currently work at the Monumental Labs. It's a
Mm-hmm.
CNC
Mm-hmm.
stone company.
Wow. You have to show
It
us.
works. Yeah, yeah, it creates. Yeah, yeah. It creates sculptures
Mm-hmm.
using AI powered robots. So
Okay, let's continue with the portfolio. Amazing
yeah.
stuff.
Thanks, man. So yeah, these were mostly the works that I did
Mm-hmm.
in first four figures. One thing that I really love about the 3D printing industry, because before that I used to work at the animation and video games,
Mm-hmm.
but then seeing your work coming into life, like in the real world,
Mm-hmm.
it was really a great experience. So because it's one of the reasons I stick to collectibles, because I would create something that comes into this world. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? It's not digital anymore.
That's right. Like,
And
it's more, it gives you the feeling of it's real. It's not like just something in computer, you know?
yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And at that time, these are so old, man. And at that time, one of my
Mm-hmm.
friends, Mohsen Zade,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Oh, I
I did
love
this
these.
bust. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
based off Rafael Monti's
Mm-hmm.
Veiled Virgin.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he was working at the CNC uh, industry, and he was working with stone, and I had no clue what the whole CNC was or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
he got the file and then did the digital fabrication and everything, and then
Wow.
milled the 3D sculptures
No,
on
this makes me go
the
crazy. Sorry
marble.
for the interruption,
Yeah,
but look, you can even
that's no
see
problem.
the transparency of the
Yeah, yeah,
fabric.
yeah. That's really cool, right?
Now I'm going crazy.
I don't want to brag. You see the lines of
Yeah.
the milling.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
my god. Like, oh my god.
yeah. So yeah, so that actually blew my mind
Mhm.
uh, because I always wanted to work on my own personal projects,
Mhm.
and that opened a door so I could experience and experiment with a lot of ideas.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's started for me to start sculpting more and more, and then one thing that I did was
Mhm.
that I stick with the industry
Mhm.
and then use the financial support on my own personal projects.
Mm.
So the further I went and start working with the Veil Virgin,
This is my favorite.
one,
I love it.
sorry,
Mm.
thanks. So yeah, the idea behind it is, the Veiled Virgin is
Mhm.
a, it's the story goes to the Roman Empire. Uh, it's in the Temple of Vesta,
Mhm.
and there were some virgins in the temple, and they guarded the fire in the temple. And
Mm.
whenever the fire in the temple like extinguished or goes
Mm-hmm.
off, the high priestess would accuse the virgins that they have done something wrong, and
Mm.
then they would send them to the underground dungeon for the rest of their lives. And then the concept of the veil on their face actually reminded me of the uh, the veilings in my country,
Mm.
and it represented the suffocation that the women in my country.
Mm.
And so yeah, I tried to create a type of modern, stylized, classical
Mm.
type of like version of that.
That's so thoughtful
And
of you, because it
thanks.
I'm sure it made me emotional, and I'm sure those who watched it also are feeling it, because this is like complex for me to explain it, but I can see it in your artwork, and what you did is amazing.
I'm glad that it did actually create a, I don't know, effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, um, and then I started to experiment more
Mm.
with the CNC
Mm-hmm.
millings, and then I tried to bring my works into the
Mm-hmm.
whole world, and then I tried to move further with the experimental works.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to create this vanitas,
This one was in Italy,
and
right?
yeah, yeah, it was. This one is also as well. The
Oh,
veil version is also, yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
being
No.
permanently installed at the Robert F. Kennedy Foundation.
Wow. So you didn't sell
Yeah.
them at the end?
No, no.
Because I remember I had this conversation sitting in a restaurant in Rome together talking about it, and you were like, I don't want to make money with it. I was like, no, just make money and then use it to create more art. And you were like, no, but I feel bad because this is something that, I did it for, for myself, and for the meanings that it has to you, which is understandable.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because of that, I
mm,
didn't want to sell it. Yeah.
yeah, which is, I think, great. I mean, I understand it.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know if it's good or not.
Well, it depends on how you see it, how you look at it. The way that you're looking at it makes sense to me. But maybe the way that I look at it is like different, but is more understandable for myself and not to you, which
Mhm.
is all right. I look at it in a way that, okay, I created a beautiful artwork that can speak to people like that, especially that it has such a strong meaning. I can sell it, make money with it to be able to pay my rents, and pay the bills and live my life, to be able to create more
Yeah,
arts. But since you don't feel that need, or maybe you feel like it's not necessary to do it, maybe it's all right for you, or I don't know. I mean, we are different people. For me, it's okay to make money with something so special. I mean, of course, I would think about who is going to keep it, because I also care about,
hmm,
it's like they say your artwork is like your child. If I'm giving it away, I prefer to give it away to someone that at least I feel like is gonna take good care of it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Uh,
Well, it depends on the artwork
Mm-hmm.
because, for example, you may sell one artwork. For me, the veiled version, because of the concept, I
Mm,
always felt like it's going to be wrong if I sell it.
mm,
I don't know. One
true.
person may say that no, it's not wrong, and that's their idea, but and
Mm,
their opinion.
yeah.
But to me, no, it wasn't really going to work. So yeah, I decided to
Mm-hmm.
give it away. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
this one actually was really fun experimenting with the fungus because I mean I could. work with different materials to
Mm-hmm.
create a fake look of the fungus or the mold over the face. But I try to experiment to see if I really can grow
Mm-hmm.
fungus and if I can get a marble to get moldy,
Mm.
to actually devalue the whole
Mm.
not actually the price, but the value of the sculpture.
Mm-hmm.
It was created with different marbles. I used the techniques that we
Mm.
always use in the 3D printing industry, and
Mm-hmm.
then I used it in the CNC milling.
Mm.
And this is the time. I'm sorry,
Awesome.
it may look gross, but
I mean,
yeah, yeah.
altogether it looks
Th-
good, but maybe if you look at it like one by one, it doesn't look that
Yeah, yeah.
pleasant.
This one, the right one looks kind of like a Van Gogh
Mm-hmm.
style,
That's
but it was really
right.
wrong. But then,
Okay.
right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then I started to use like other uh, fungus, and
Mm-hmm.
then grew over that. One of my friends, Sara Tehranian, she helped me to create a structure for the
Mm-hmm.
face so that the fungus would hold still.
Mm-hmm.
And here's this moldy, gross sculpture in
Moldy
Florence.
gross.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah. But in the same time,
Mm-hmm.
I was also, I didn't really leave industry.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I want to speak is I see some of the artists,
Mm-hmm.
like emerging artists, uh, mostly creating fine arts at the early stage of their works.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this is, I guess, it's a little bit problematic because I guess it would hurt your portfolio
Mm.
and it would not help you to get a job.
Mm.
So at least for me, I kept all the industry works at the same time I was working,
Mm.
so I could have the financial backup and then working in the fine arts as well. So
Mm.
you may say that, okay, fine art might be a hobby kind of thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that can be also true.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So your main
but
income is from collectibles
industry, yeah, yeah,
industry,
collectibles,
and then you just create fine art, and then like
yes,
you decide if you want to sell it or not.
yeah, 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 exactly.
Okay, makes sense.
Because what I tried to say was, for example, uh, imagine a junior artist creating some conceptual art and not
Mm-hmm.
industry friendly type of artworks.
Mm.
And then whenever he or she tries to apply for a job, the chance of getting rejected is going to be very high
True, I
because
agree.
the right
Mm-hmm.
because the person would like in whatever industry, collectibles, miniatures, I don't know, video games, animations, whatever. um, they would mainly want to see how you create a character with a industry pipeline, right?
Well,
And then, for example, if I don't do that and I sculpt something very rough and the topology is like
mm,
just off,
mm-hmm.
and then, you know, how can I say that my work is like industry friendly? I would get rejected
Mm.
instantly.
That's
Mhm.
actually true. Yeah. Because creating what you love in the easiest way possible just for yourself to enjoy is one part of the thing, and creating something that is actually useful in the industry and people want it is another thing. So you need to, from the
Exactly.
beginning, you need to decide what you want to do. If you want to have fun,
Hmm.
it's fine. But if you want to make money, you need to create something that you're gonna be able to make money with, that is wanted in the
Exactly.
industry.
Exactly. Yeah, indeed.
So,
You
Tandakelman, sorry. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, is asking, Reza, I noticed you have no particular style. Has that been harder or easier getting higher end work since you don't have a niche style?
mm,
I didn't quite
not at
understand the
not up
question.
to now.
Mm-hmm. I didn't quite actually understand the question. It's like the question is that is it harder to get job because
Harder
you're
to
like,
get jobs, I guess. I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, they meant.
No, I think in my personal opinion, if you have like multiple styles in your portfolio, it's gonna help you get multiple clients and more clients. But if you're actually not interested in one specific style, just don't put it in your portfolio because it's gonna affect your clients. You're gonna always get clients based on what you're posting. So if you love it, put it in your portfolio. If you want to get more clients with the same um style, put it in your portfolio. If you don't want it, just don't do it.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because your works actually define portfolio and the jobs you're getting.
Mm,
For example, if I mm, show all of these and then apply for a, I don't know, job position that needs a hyper realistic character,
mm,
I would get instantly rejected because I
mm,
did not have any hyper realistic um, character. You know what I mean?
exactly. 100%.
Yeah. But in the collectibles, having a variation also helps.
Yeah.
Mostly the companies are working with lots of IPs, so it would be better for them to have someone who can create anime style, realistic style, cartoonish or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and it can be helpful for them. You know,
Right.
I guess it's a matter of experience. Through the time, you'll learn more about it.
Mm, true.
And
Fact.
also with through time you will uh you will basically create your own
Mm,
market
true.
with your style. You will get
Exactly.
the clients and then they will know, okay, the style, if
Mm,
I wanted to create something with this style, this person is the right person for that.
exactly. Exactly. I agree with that. I agree with that part because that's also like what is happening in my portfolio. It's like people already know that like I sculpt like nude figures, classical nude figures,
Yeah.
and I get mainly commissions like related to my portfolio. It's why I'm saying if you actually don't like a style, a specific style, just don't put it in your portfolio because putting it there is telling the client that I'm able to do this and I enjoy doing this, so you can commission me this type of work.
Exactly. Yes, yes.
And
Also,
fact
your
about,
works are,
yep.
based on, sorry for interrupting.
No, don't
Your
worry.
works are, you know, in the whole miniature world, as far as I know,
Yeah.
is more niche because the whole miniature world is mostly creating Warhammer type of characters
Mm-hmm.
or Lord of the Rings or creating a diorama, if I pronounce it right, a diorama of a, I don't know, war scene, but you're creating something more artistic.
That's right.
So you will have your own clients and
Mm-hmm.
you're creating your own market. So yeah, that's also helpful. And that's also a tough part.
Mm,
You will have, for
exactly.
example, you may have less clients,
Exactly. Because you
but
already
also
specified it.
your own stuff.
Yeah. Because you
Exactly.
already
Yeah.
like selected that I want this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Commission me this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. I hope it answers your questions, the person who asked.
I think so, but if it wasn't clear, just write your question again so we understand better. And Farhad is also saying, "Excuse me, I got the time wrong and missed the live session. Sorry about that. Hello, Leila, and thank you for your kindness. You're very welcome. I hope one day I'm gonna host you here and we'll chat together in the future weeks." So I have another
Yeah.
comment here on Instagram because we're live on both on Instagram and YouTube. I
Mhm.
got a couple of comments. Let me see which one I haven't read yet. Um, okay. I think I have. Okay, let's start with the last comment. Um, Date your artwork. They want to see progression and more than one style. The wider your range, the better. Do you agree?
I didn't get the first part. Can you just say it again?
Um, Date your artwork. They want to see progression and more than one style. The wider your range, the better. I think we
Yeah, yeah,
already
I agree.
covered it. It's like it depends on what
Yeah.
you want. It depends on your goals, guys. If you want a specific
Yes.
kind of clients, just post more of data style in your
Okay.
portfolio. And if you don't want any specific type, just don't put it in your portfolio because it's gonna affect the kind of clients that you're getting.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And another comment is that kind that kind of reminds me of the family on Deimos from Warframe. I don't know about Deimos from Warframe. Do you know anything about it?
I don't know who that guy is.
I'm
Or
10.
who that?
No, I'm TM06. It's the name.
No clue.
Okay. Um, okay, Ten Duckman, sorry for my pronunciation again, wrote on YouTube. I did explain my question properly. I mean, when you applying for work, they will always hire someone doing the same style since they showing they are an expert at that style.
Yeah.
Okay. Art Conum is asking. He enjoyed working on Castlevania's Death.
Oh, Castlevania.
Yeah, Castlevania's Death Symphony of the
Yeah.
Night. Are you a fan of the Castlevania series? Are you a fan?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am a fan.
I
Not
haven't
so
watched
much,
it.
but yeah, I did enjoy working on it.
Mm. Mm-hmm. I am not familiar with many things in the world in general because I don't know what is the reason. Maybe like I don't know. I grew up like mostly alone and I wasn't like following anime. You know, some people are like
Mhm.
crazy about manga. Some people are crazy about some specific kind of series and stuff. But for me, it was only vampires, I think, and psychology
Then
books.
Castlevania would suit you well because Castlevania is based on uh, vampires.
Is a vampire. So I
Yeah, yeah,
read
yeah.
a book was Darenshan. I
Uh-huh.
think you have read it already or no?
No, no, but I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my, craziest vampire story ever. And it was just a movie. I love Harry Potter.
Mhm.
I love Miley Cyrus, if that counts. So yeah, it's crazy. Sometimes people are asking me about some, series or cartoons and I'm like, I have never heard about it. And they're like, wow, we thought that you would know because your work is like similar to this and that. I'm like, I've never seen it. I've never heard it.
Yeah.
Right. So if you want to continue on your portfolio,
Sure.
yep.
Let's go with I don't know. Yeah, this one I guess should be. Let's change the stream. So yeah, I guess this
Mm-hmm.
one would also answer
Mm-hmm.
the person that's I also cannot pronounce their name.
Right.
Um, yeah, this is like a very rough sketch of the ideas which I did to create it on stone.
Mm-hmm.
And as you mentioned, that the works define the jobs that we're getting. Slowly as I started to create the classical sculptures,
Mm-hmm.
I uh, then I applied for like stone industry or
Mm-hmm.
sculpture industry, uh, the places that that mainly wanted classical sculptures.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the 3D printing world, they basically need someone to create uh, in he's basically able to sculpt in many variations of
Mm-hmm.
styles. But also, it's actually true that it defined the classical artworks defined my,
Mm-hmm.
market or the clients or the jobs. And then I recently joined the Monumental Labs,
Mm-hmm.
and is a the Monumental Labs is a company that is using AI bots to basically create sculptures
Mm-hmm.
on marbles.
These are
And
awesome.
I'm working there as
Mm-hmm.
a digital sculptor. Yeah. So
So how
these
is the
are the things that
process? Like, do you have a reference image, or do they give you a scan file, or how is the process of working?
it depends on each work. Some of the work based on a
Mm-hmm.
rough scan.
Mm-hmm.
So we start to clean the scan, or the scan is very super rough that only gives us the whole proportion of the things,
Mm-hmm.
and then we would just sculpt from scratch. Or sometimes there are just some images. Uh, we just sculpt it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is actually the video. I don't know if you're
That's
seeing it. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. We're seeing it. That's interesting.
that is the robots in action. This
Mm-hmm.
one is also the robots in action.
Wow.
Uh, this is it.
So how
And
is
then they would do the
yeah?
hand.
Mm-hmm.
But the robot actually creates most of the detail, and the hand finish,
Mm-hmm.
mostly polishing and some small details, very
Mm-hmm.
because it mostly covers all of the negative spaces. But sometimes it would need some help, like
So
working with hand.
I'm curious to know, how do you actually prepare the model for the CNC? Is it the same as when you're preparing it for 3D printing, or it's different?
Like it should be solid and everything. Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
is it like the process of, I don't know, carving it, let's say. The process of carving it, is it like
Hmm.
as good as printing, or it usually doesn't have the same um, quality? Like for
I
example,
mean,
if
it's.
I print something like this, it has all the details. You can see all the details here. But
Hmm.
is it going to be the same if I use the same model for the CNC and using it for carving it into stone, or it's going to be
Right.
different? I'm asking about the
No,
quality.
the quality is almost like similar to the digital model,
Mm-hmm.
but of course it's not the resin 3D print quality.
Mm.
I mean, because it's milling on the stone,
Mm.
and so yeah.
So okay, so the quality is not like how you have it in 3D. Like for example, you have a model in ZBrush that you sculpted every detail and it's perfectly detailed. If
Hmm.
you are going to use CNC to carve it out
Hmm.
on a stone, is it gonna
Hmm.
keep the same amount of details that you have in ZBrush, or it's
Depends
gonna okay?
depends on the details. For example,
Mm-hmm.
skin pores, no,
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to be there. because the skin pores are
Okay.
so small
Mm-hmm.
that the actual
Mm-hmm.
uh, thing cannot create
Right.
it on the stone. But the
Mm-hmm.
other parts, other things, other details,
Mm-hmm.
small folds
Mm.
over the I don't know fabrics or wrinkles on the face. Yeah, they are
Mm-hmm.
all can be achievable.
Awesome.
For example, this one
Does it also
is
depend
my
on the
personal.
scale? I think it has to also depend on the scale,
Of course, yes, yes,
right?
yes, definitely, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, this one is
Mm-hmm.
new personal project which I'm currently expanding and trying to
Mm-hmm.
explore more with the concept of veils and
Awesome.
fabrics over the face, like using the veiled virgin style, the
Mm-hmm.
Western Roman veiled virgin classical style,
Mm-hmm.
but in the Middle East to mostly uh, work on the whole concept of the veiling in the Middle East and not just
Mm-hmm.
Iran. And so, yeah, for example, this part, as you can see,
Mm-hmm.
uh, that cannot be achievable. That I
Mm.
guess it will be, yeah, it can be happened
Mm.
with sculpting by hand.
So the
But the other
textures,
parts, yeah,
yeah, the
yeah, yeah, the
textures are
texture
not
is
like,
not going to be there.
yeah,
But for example,
achievable.
this one can be achievable
Mm-hmm.
because it's not like too small.
Mm-hmm.
Or for example, the texture
Mm-hmm.
here
It's
can
big
also be
enough.
achievable. But this one, yeah, 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 it's big enough
Mm-hmm.
to be achievable. This one
Right.
also, yeah. Or for example, these parts should be like closed all together and
Mm-hmm.
then like removed, carved out by hand.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. These are looking really beautiful.
Thanks.
So, no shirt,
So,
no
wow.
shoes wrote a comment on YouTube. Not necessarily tentacle men. Being diverse in your ability to create and having some imagination goes far in the creative world. It can land you specific jobs, but if you can't evolve, if the project
Hmm.
with the project, I think it has to be okay. I didn't quite understand, but um I think he means that having a diversity in your
Diverse,
portfolio,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Diverse
yeah,
style, yeah.
yeah, is not a bad thing. It's good because you can find different clients. I think that's what he means. And we got another comment on Instagram. Your work is charming. How do you divide your time between personal and professional work? What do you like to do to seek new inspiration and always be renewing yourself?
Um, I guess I use my weekends to work on my personal projects. I don't know. I try to find
You
time.
sacrifice your weekends.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, we all do. We
What else can I do?
sacrifice our sleep, we sacrifice our free time, weekends. That's.
I don't call it sacrifice because mm, you really love something and you put time on it and you're in
Mm,
sacrifice.
yeah, but okay.
You're
Let's
enjoying
say,
it, so
yeah, let's say, yeah, if you're
it's a good
actually
time. Yeah,
enjoying it, it's like a hobby. It feels like you're actually hiking or I don't know, like camping, like things that people normally do on weekends on our or on their free time to, you know, uh, to feel better, like to feel like they're enjoying
exactly,
their time if we look at it that way. But on the other hand, it's like you're putting yourself too much in solitude sometimes, and
exactly.
it's not good.
Yeah, because for example, in the whole industry works, no matter what it is, games,
Mm-hmm.
animations, anything. It's one thing. I see it mostly as an industry job, but
Mm-hmm.
then the actual art, which the personal artwork there. Um, I see it mostly, this is how I try to connect with people like emotionally, without speaking,
Mm,
because I always see art as language that allows me to create a conversation with somebody who I don't know. So that
sorry,
artwork can,
we lost a little bit of the ending of your
which
sentence.
part?
You see art to
Uh,
communicate, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
we
exactly. It creates,
mm-hmm,
yeah, it creates conversation
mm-hmm,
with people, and it helps me to spread out whatever I believe
mm,
and whatever I have experienced
mm,
as a person to other people. And I guess you have also experienced this, that you will see some random art and you
mm-hmm,
don't know the artist and don't know anything about that person who created that artwork, but the
mm-hmm.
artwork actually speaks with you, speaks
True.
to you actually. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So yeah, these are the things that I really love to explore to create art.
mm,
And because to me it's like mostly like a mirror. It reflects our intentions. It reflects
mm,
our inner selves,
mm,
our thoughts, our questions, our problems, or whatever. And you know using digital art and then creating it into a physical art, the medium, the primary medium may be virtual, but the desire behind the artwork is completely human.
mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if I made any sense, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but it scares me because you said that like
Why?
because because if you look at it that way, that the artwork speaks to you and is
Mhm.
reflecting the inner self of the artist. If you look at my portfolio, I'm so violent, but in real life I'm not violent. It's why it scares
Yes,
me,
but it's
like,
also,
because
no, why it
sometimes
scares you? It's I guess it's also speaking like some part of yourself, right? Doesn't it? It's
it actually does, but it's not like, because I got comments, I got like really harsh comments even into my face, that people are not really liking some of my artworks, that are showing too much violence. But it's like, if you see it in my artwork, yeah, maybe it's just me being angry, but it doesn't mean that I, you know like, walk around and kill people. That doesn't mean that I'm a serial
yes,
killer.
yes, yeah, 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 yeah,
and
yeah, definitely.
yeah, it can sometimes, for artists, I mean, for those who create art, let's don't use artist word, because some people are allergic to this word and they don't like to be called artist, or consider anyone as an artist. Let's say if someone who creates art and trying to communicate with, with the audience, is like, sorry, I forgot. No,
Oh, it's okay.
I was like, I was trying to say something nice, actually. I forgot it.
No,
Okay.
no, it made sense. It made sense. Yeah, you made
It
your point.
doesn't actually make sense, but I was going to say something good. Okay, never
You,
mind. You go on. I felt too
you made your
comfortable for
point
a
right there.
second. I thought, think I
No, no,
think I
it's all
felt
good.
too
It's all
comfortable
good.
for a second that my mind just fly everywhere. Okay.
No.
I will finish this conversation like this.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I guess.
you can be hard and
Hmm.
extreme with your artwork, but at the same time you can be a very normal person in your personal life. People who create art, they might see the kind of I don't know, the kind of red that you're seeing. A painter can see it extremely red, or extremely yellow, or extremely blue. And this is how they see the world, and this is how they can create work, their artwork.
Mhm.
Like you can go to the extreme with your artwork, but this doesn't mean that, like, I don't know if I could explain it or not. It's like I can show violence to the extreme in my artwork, but this is just me exaggerating some things, because that's how I create art, because that's how it makes it look maybe different from the other artworks. I don't know if that makes sense to you or not, but let's just
Yes,
finish
yes,
it
yes,
this
totally.
way.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I mentioned, as I said earlier, you made your point. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish more people realized this. I don't know which one. Aryan is writing on Instagram. All right, so
Ariane, Ariane
um,
who? Ariane
Aryan,
Zamanpour.
no, Aryan Mova.
Oh, yeah.
So are we done with the portfolio, by the way?
Yeah, we're quite
Okay.
done with the portfolio. Let me stop streaming, and I guess we can just wrap it up.
Mm-hmm. We have just one more
The only
comment on
thing I would,
on YouTube. Let me read it if you don't mind, and then we can just have the final.
sure.
Will you do tutorial in sculpting hands?
There are many great sculptors. See there.
Sorry, we lost the connection. Could you repeat?
You have me.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I said there are many great sculptors out there who you can learn
Learn
so many
from.
great valuable things from
Yeah.
them. Yeah. So
So you're not planning any
yeah, I'm
tutorials?
I'm still learning, man.
We all
Still learning.
do.
So
We
yeah.
all do.
Yeah.
All right. So any final talks. But before that, please promise me that you're gonna come back again, because I think the conversation was too short and I still have a lot of questions to ask, but we are already live for like more than 1 hour and I don't want to keep you for a long time.
No, sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. First of all, thanks for having me, and
Thank
I
you
hope
for
that
accepting to
it was
come.
good, and I
Yeah.
hope I don't know added a little bit like this amount.
Of course. I loved it.
Um,
I loved the conversation
mm,
tonight and I
and I hope
absolutely
that people enjoyed it.
enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no final words?
Yeah. One of the things
Mhm.
that I saw, I guess I also we talked about it earlier.
Mhm.
It's just keeping the balance between if you are going to if you want to work in the fine arts as well,
Mhm.
and also you're working in the digital world,
Mhm.
and if you're an emerging artist, recently started to create works and recently started to learn.
I think we
Uh,
lost the connection.
don't
If you just started to learn, you said?
do it now.
Yeah, we are good
Yeah,
now.
yeah. If you're just starting to get learn about the whole 3D,
Mhm.
um, just keep the balance,
Mm.
because falling into the trap of the art war
Mhm.
is a little bit dangerous.
Mhm.
So having a good financial backup
Mhm.
and then using that into your personal project, like slowly creating that, it would
Mhm.
be, I guess, it would be the best solution, unless you
Yeah.
have already the backup for your project.
Mm.
So that would be okay. So yeah, that's it. And also, yes, you should decide if you are to be an artist in the industry. In your portfolios, the fine arts will not gonna look so,
I agree.
or they may damage
That's right.
in the worst
That's
case.
right.
Yeah,
Actually, this is a very logical approach, because just considering the passion and starting without thinking of what's going to happen next sometimes doesn't work. Maybe most of the time it would work,
exactly.
but sometimes it doesn't work. So you have to also consider what the market needs and what is your talent, and how much time will you be able to, put for practicing, how much effort are you willing to give, and these are also important factors that you need to take care of.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, so I think we're done. Thank you again for accepting to be here. I really enjoyed so
Of course, thanks
much,
for having me, and thank you.
and I hope we will do
Nice chat.
another chat in the future.
Hopefully, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
It would be my pleasure. And of
thank
course,
you.
again, I hope that everyone enjoyed it, and I hope I wasn't really on anyone's nerves with my wrong usage of words or whatever.
Me too. It's fine. People will understand. I mean, I didn't catch any errors, but if you did, people will understand. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching.
Thank
And
you. Thanks for everyone.
I will be live again next Monday evening, either with another artist going live and chatting like this, or I'm going to sculpt something. So see you guys next week on Monday evening. Bye bye. Bye, Reza.
Ciao.